Sup y'all, it's me. Today I have a question for you. What does it take to get into heaven? And really think about this. What does one have to do to get through the pearly gates? Here, I'll give you some time to think and then I'll continue on. Okay, we're back, and I hope that was enough time to think about it because that's what you're getting. Maybe you said that you have to follow God, be religious to get into heaven. Or maybe you said that you have to be a good person to get into heaven. Or maybe it was something else along those lines. But whatever it is you said, you're wrong. Unless you said that you need money to get into heaven, then you'd be right. So, yay, hooray! So, how do I know that it takes money to get into heaven? Well, it's simple. This church in Mexico is selling land for a mere $100. You heard that. You could get yourself an actual slice of heaven for the low price of $100. What a steal if you ask me. Emphasis on steal. A church in Mexico is helping people prep for eternity by selling plots of land in heaven. According to the pastor of End Times, who claims to have received permission from God, the church is offering heavenly real estate for the simple price of $100 per square meter. Pictures of the offer have been circulating on social media showing a brochure with an elaborate depiction of a holy house in the clouds. The illustration features a family ascending a golden staircase to their new celestial home. The brochure also clarifies that the church accepts various payment options, including PayPal, Google Pay, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, as well as available payment plans. The pastor says he spoke to God and he was granted permission to do this. They have already collected thousands of dollars. And when did he speak to him, you may wonder? 2017. He spoke to him in 2017, apparently. This is clearly a scam. Since isn't heaven supposed to be accessible to anybody depending on how they live their lives? Isn't that the determining factor? Is your whole life? Being able to buy your way into it would defeat the whole purpose of it, no? Defeating the actual fairness of heaven? Let's say little Jimmy, right? He just starts people for no reason, does some acts, and just commits heinous crimes overall. Then he goes ahead and quote unquote buys land in heaven, right? So then what, he's just let off scot free? It doesn't really make much sense, right? So bad people would just be able to do whatever they want and just be safe because they bought some heaven. And I also don't think God would be okay with anybody selling his heavenly land, since wouldn't it just defeat the whole purpose of heaven, like I said before? I hope by this point you've realized that I'm not trying to tell anybody how to get to heaven, because I don't know. I'm non-religious, so I wouldn't even know what to say. I'm just trying to talk about the scams. I feel bad for all these people because, they fell for the scam, which to me it's super obvious, but I'm sure to them they're like, well, I'm gonna guarantee my place. So it's hella messed up that churches like this would, prey on their followers so that they could get more money for whatever reasons they want. That they really don't care about the actual people there. You know how big with their bag you have to be to trick all these people into thinking that they have a guaranteed place in heaven for $100? I'm sure people already gave their church a bunch of money, so why do they need to give it more for a guaranteed spot in heaven? Like, is heaven's economy crashing up there? Is it 1929 or 2008 up there? Like, I really want to know why land needs to be sold in heaven. And this scam's kind of funny because they're trying to make the most out of it. They're trying, like, they accept any form of payment, even a payment plan. Like, oh, you can't afford to pay for heaven right now? Just finance it for the next year, and then after that, you'll be fine. Just don't pass away before then. Okay, now I actually want to know, like, if you are paying it off, and let's say you die before you finish paying it off, do you just go straight down to hell because, you couldn't pay it off? Or, like, how's that gonna work? Or is it like you get half of your land? Or is it like half and half go? Like, you interchange? Like, what happens? What's even crazier to think about is that this isn't even the first scam that's doing this. There was other scams before it. Last year in 2023, but more like 2021 and 2023, Pastor Fred Isagna, and I highly butchered that, but that's the best I could do, who was telling his followers to sell their property and give him money so that he could buy them land in heaven. Pastor asked followers to sell their property, give him the money to buy them plots of land in heaven. A pastor at the David of the Universal Apostle Fellowship Church has reportedly begun selling a portion of land in heaven to his followers. It is alleged that most of his church members have simply paid large sums of money to him to secure the land for them. Others who cannot afford the full payment have also been given flexible payment plans to make a full reservation on the offer. According to reports, the pastor has succeeded in convincing his followers to sell their land, animals, and other assets to raise the capital for the acquisition of the heavenly property. It is unclear how much the doomed pastor is charging for a piece of land in heaven. Obviously, very messed up because he's using God's name to deceive all his followers just so he could get more money. He really made people just alter their whole lives by selling their house and their animals, just their property, just so they can get a slice into heaven. And since they don't even know the price, he can charge as much money as he wants. Like, I mean, obviously he can charge as much money as he wants, but he can charge differently depending on the person. So for one person, it could be $20. For another person, it could be 1,000. At least with the other one, you had a flat rate of 100 per square meter, so you could just buy how much land you want and then you know how much it is instead of hoping he gives you a good price. And either way, the prices are bad because they're all just big scams. That's not even the end of these scams. Back in 2018, a Zimbabwean pastor was arrested for selling tickets to heaven. Pastor Tito Watts, a Zimbabwe-based clergyman, and his wife Amanda were arrested for selling tickets to heaven. According to the police, the pastor and his wife scammed people into buying $500 tickets that shall get them into the gates of heaven with no judgment. These people were really selling $500 get out of hell free cards. That's pretty insane, but maybe it was worth it. I do not care what people or the police are saying about me. I'm being prosecuted because of doing the work of God, the pastor said according to Zimbabwean news outlets. Jesus Christ appeared to me and gave me the tickets made out of pure gold so that I can sell to people who want salvation, he added. News reports claimed thousands of people are protesting the pastor's arrest. They called on the police to release him immediately. Watts told those who sought salvation that the tickets were made from solid gold and each ticket reserved the buyer a place in heaven. Police reports said that the tickets are actually made of gold-coated wood with "Ticket to Heaven" admit one written over it. Yeah, so the tickets obviously weren't worth it. What did he think was going to happen selling wooden tickets claiming that they're pure gold? He didn't think that eventually, or they didn't think that eventually someone was going to notice that they're actually just wood with gold paint on it. It's like, how dumb do these people have to be? You know, if the tickets were made out of pure gold, he could have sold them for a lot more because it's pure gold. He could have gotten so much more money than just $500 out of it. I feel like for this one, that should have been like the first sign it was a scam because $500 for pure gold is a little, no? And from this picture, the tickets look pretty thick. So if this was actual gold, pure gold, he could have just sold the gold for a lot more money than just a ticket to heaven. What sucks about all these scams is obviously that, you know, they're scams and people are falling for them and losing their money for no real reason, but also that these churches and these pastors are using God's name, this thing that's supposed to teach you morality, that's supposed to lead you down a good path, that's supposed to make you virtuous, that they're using it in immoral ways for their own selfish and greedy purposes, which is the complete opposite of what God is supposed to teach. And like I said earlier, I feel bad for the people that fall for this scam because they thought they were going to be able to get into heaven just like that, but they really just lost their money because some dickhead pastors wanted to be greedy and get more for themselves. Obviously, it sucks overall for the people. I hope that the pastor for that Mexican church, that Spanish church, you know, gets arrested too because he's just stealing money from people and that the people are able to get their money back. But people, please don't fall for these scams. Don't try to buy land in heaven because you're not going to see anything come out of it. But honestly, I think it'd be hella funny to just go to a friend of mine and be like, hey bro, I bought some land in heaven, so I guess we won't be able to hang out afterwards. Like, I buy it and it actually works. I'd be hella flabbergasted, like I'd be baffled. So to answer my question from before, what does it take to get into heaven? Still have no idea. Actually, no. Being a good person and not like these guys is probably what gets you there. But that's all, you guys. You know, if you want, you can put what you think in the comments. But it's obviously not money. Whatever happens next happens, right? And maybe I'll see you there. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if not, dislike it, because, you know, it's right there too. Anyways, see y'all.